Okay, so this is a quick overview of the, or I'll try to make it as quick as possible, overview of the full adder with only half adders and one extra gate. Now, I recommend watching the other video if you haven't and you're confused about this, because this is going to take some ideas from the other one, but you could just try watching straight. So basically, here's a table for the full adder, and we want to really think about our target being S and C out, these sides of the truth table. What this table is saying is basically we want three variables to give us these results. Now, it's good to realize that when we have a regular half adder, we just get 4 variables, right? Because it's 2 to the power of 2. Here we have 2 to the power of 3. So that extra C variable is very much necessary. Now, you could also notice that when we have the half adder, we have this pattern, right? C out 0, 0, 0, 1. Now this is when you add them, right? You get 1, and then when you add 2 ones, it carries over. Now it's cool to or notable to figure out that actually the first part of this table we already have of this full adder. So really the question is, when we insert the third variable, what kind of combination do we make with half adders and then maybe one extra gate to get to our desired target? There's a lot of simpler play in the other video, so check that out if this starts to get really confusing. Well, let's draw out a truth table and then start trying out permutations between all the things. Now, actually, let me step back for a second. I want to notice that here, the S output for a half adder is basically when B is true, A has to be false, and when A is true, B has to be false, which is why we get A B prime or A prime B. That's our simplification for the S, the sum output. And the C output, importantly, also is just AB, right? When that's true. Okay, so let's start figuring out the permutations. So let me quickly draw up the binary. Sorry if it's a little sloppy. Da, da, and da, da, da. Okay. Now, what do we combine it with? Well, the challenge is to do it with half adders, and we remember that the half adder expression is AB prime plus A prime B. Meaning that we might be able to use this output of the half adder somehow. We might also want to use the AB, but for now let's just keep it let's keep the chart relatively simple. So A B prime or A prime B means whenever you have one but not the other. So it's going to be true here, we don't care about the C, true here, and false in the rest, right? Because the zeros match and the ones match, so we ignore that. Perfect. Now, if we want to be thorough, we would go one at a time and try to combinations. But sometimes we can make informed decisions and think, well, which one should we try first, and then go from there. Because C is a new variable, and we need these extra 4 rows, and C creates those extra 4 rows. My first instinct is actually to try adding these two. So what happens if we, I'm going to highlight these, what happens if we sum these, if we put them into an adder, a half adder? So 0, 0 is 0, 1, 0 is 1, 1, 0, carry, 1, 0, carry, 0, 1. I hope that's clear. And this is the cout for that operation, and this is the sum for that operation. Okay, so now we look at our result and we try to match it with our target, and we note if there's any good things, we note if there's any bad things, and what we need to adjust. So basically, well, let's look at the S column first and try to match them and see how it's going. And by looking at it, okay, actually we are already half done in that the S output is perfect for the full adder. It's exactly what we wanted. So we know we're on the right target. Like, even if it's a more inefficient way, you know, there might be more efficient ways to do it, but at least this much, you get that output. So you would already get credit for that. Well, let's look at the cout and see where we're short. So the first 4 digits of the cout, like we pointed before, are good. Next 2 are good. And then the last 2 are not good. Okay. So then the question becomes, how do we get the 1 and the 1 here? So we basically want some sort of 1 and 1 here. And we don't care about the rest. So we can basically say this. So we want something that's going to give us 1 here and 1 here. You know, and the question is, well, how do we do that? Can we do that in any way possible? And actually, well, let's draw the diagram. It'll actually become a little bit clearer why it's very much possible. So far, well, we had a half adder. So to create that half adder, we had to input A and B into a half adder. Half adder. Yep. That's this one. That's what we were using here. We were already using a whole half adder. And that had an output. And then we had a C variable. And we had the C connect with that output of the half adder and connect to another half adder. Right? And the S that produced is actually our target S. So I'm going to just put a check mark there, differently colored check mark, and voila, great, excellent. That's what we wanted. Great. Well, actually, this is and now we know what this cout is. So we're very close with that cout, and that cout is here. Let me just highlight it. This one. Well, let's see. Actually, what is this cout? Right? And if we think about it again, that's the cout from half adder operation. And if we go back and out of battery, let me recharge 1 second, or start drawing with my finger, which nobody wants. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, charging. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, so we take AB, we say, okay, what was the cout before? 0, 0, 0, 1, right? The cout was A and B, right? So just going back to that, it's kind of very important, because if we look at our condition 1, 1, we actually get that with A and B being true. Okay. So basically, we're saying, another way to think about it is saying this one, or this one. Those are going to translate to our desired 1, 1, 1, I'll put a 0 there so you can keep track, 1. To that pattern, which is here, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, so if we OR these, then we are good. Yeah, and we get these already from here. So we just put them into, oh, different color. Okay, let me do that in white. Put that into an OR gate. And that's our C out. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. You can play around with it. If that last step didn't make sense, I would draw it out again. Particularly this bit. You know, what is this? This is basically A and B being true. So you look at the table and you say, is A and B true? No. A and B true? No. A and B true? No. 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 Yes. And yes. We fabricate the function we need based on what is missing. This was missing. We needed this. We didn't need the rest. We didn't care about the rest. So we basically say, what function can we make where these are true? And that's how we get the C out. Now again, a little bit of a simpler warm-up for these is in the other video, so check that out if this was a little too much for you. Okay, thanks for watching.